Hey guys, this is Jayden 500 with a review for Split Second. Now normally I wouldn't do a review for a racing game, but because for me I think they're all the same, and a racing game needs like something extra, like a catch to it. And Split Second has the biggest catch that I've ever seen in a racing game. I mean, you're blowing up the track while you're racing on it. It's pretty crazy. Alright, I'll start off with a campaign, which is a pretty decent size, and it has pretty good replay value to it too. Because when you finish it, you still have more things to do, because the better placement you get in each race and challenge in the game, the more cars you get and the more cars you unlock. And you have to get first in the entire campaign in order to unlock the last car. But I think it's worth it because the cars are pretty sweet in here, and there's a good amount of them too. I mean, there's lots of cars and they're fully original. They're nothing from the real world. Alright, well, let's get back to the race. Well, the aim of the game is basically to fill up that gauge that is beneath the car right there. And you fill it up by basically drifting, drafting, surviving explosions, pretty much anything in the game. And once you've earned a third of the gauge, then you could detonate a small to medium-sized explosion. And if you time it right, it could be pretty deadly. I mean, it's very lethal if you could use it right. And another thing you could do is when you can wait it out and fill your gauge all the way up, so to the third bar, which is red. Once you get it there, at certain times you could activate a track changer, which alters the track massively by detonating large amounts of explosives. And this opens up quicker routes on the track to get you to the finish line faster, and it also destroys most, if not all, of your opponents ahead of you in the process. Now, most tracks have a track changer on them. Some even have multiple track changers, whether it be you could activate one more than once, like make it explode even further, like the one on this track that you're about to see. Or it'll have different track changers placed on different areas of the map. And if you're able to activate, you or other players are able to activate them in one race, then it really changes up the entire track. And in the game, there's let me see, there's about 16 maps, I think. And which isn't very much. That's not a large amount of maps, but considering that almost every single racetrack has different opportunities and basically track changers like this that change the entire track completely, it really brings some more to the game, and it really makes it a lot more interesting. And it's harder to get sick of the tracks when there's constant hectic things that are happening like this, and it's really fun and really fast paced. Another thing you could do when your gauge is filled up all the way up to the red is when you see those little red icons above the cars, you could activate a large-scaled explosion, which takes out tons of cars. Not as much as a track changer, but it will help you boost up to first place really fast, especially if you use it right. But you gotta think about opponents behind you can activate them too, which really adds more to the game. There's not just racing to this game though. There's also different game modes like Detonator Survival, Airstrike and Airstrike Revenge, and also Elimination. And I'm going to go over a couple. I'll go over elimination, which is this first one, which basically is a normal race. The only change to it really is that there's a timer above you, as you can see on the top of the screen. And once that timer hits 0, anyone who's in last place when that timer hits 0, their car will spontaneously combust. And you're out of the race once that happens. And see, once it hits 0, you'll see that it goes from 8 cars in the entire race to only 7. So it'll keep on going down until there's only 2 more cars in the race, and whoever's first when second place explodes wins. So it's a really hard game. It's not like a normal race where you could go in and out of first to last. You gotta stay in higher places or you'll explode like I did right there. You gotta be cautious of what place you're in. Alright, this is my favorite game mode in the game, mainly because it's a lot different from just regular race mode. Basically, you're on an entirely different track than that's on any other mode, separate from all the other ones. And basically, your goal is to pass these semis that are hurling 2 kinds of explosives at you. Basically, you have blue explosives and red explosives. Blue explosives knock you back and kind of send your car out of control while slightly damaging it. And red barrels, they basically one hit kill. They explode your car no matter what. If you barely nick them, you're gone. And you have unlimited lives in this, and you get multipliers every single time you pass a truck. And you lose the multiplier once you wreck yourself. But when the timer reaches 0, then the game will go into sudden death, and your unlimited lives will only turn into 1. So you only got 1 life after the timer goes 0. And then it gets pretty hectic then, because then all the barrels that the truck shoots out of the tail end of it turn into red barrels, which are insta-kill. And they go kind of in a right to left formation, so they're really hard to avoid. And this is the time when you really need to use those drone cars as kind of hit the explosion for you. Want to drift kind of behind them and let them take the blow, but not like I did there. Alright, the last game mode I'm going to be going over is Air Revenge, which is a form of airstrike, which basically what you do is you're racing on one of the racetracks that are in the normal game, and you kind of have to avoid missiles that a helicopter is launching at you. As you can see, why it's launching missiles at you, I have no idea why. It's TV entertainment apparently. But you want to avoid these explosions, and in doing so you get more points on your gauge. And once you get up to 1/3, you get to send back 1 missile, so it hits the helicopter and makes the health go down. Like that's on the top of your screen there, and those little bars are the helicopter's health. But what I found out is the most effective is waiting until your gauge is all the way up to the red and detonating it then. And what that does, it sends all the rockets, all 6 rockets, back simultaneously at the helicopter. And this takes out about 1/5 of the helicopter's health instead of just one little section. Alright, I'll end this video with the online. And there's only 3 modes, race, elimination, and survival. But they're the most fun modes, I think, so it doesn't really matter if there's only 3. But what's cool about this is by clicking on Y, you can change the different classes that you want the race to have, from A to C to BC. And if you haven't unlocked all the cars, then you could just race with C-class cars, and it'd be make your race a little easier for you. And you can change your car while waiting in the race room. And you could also view your stats and ranking. And it shows you your online ranking number and your offline ranking number. And online it changes whenever you get first place or high places, or you beat cars with low ranking, like 10 and down. And it's really cool because your rank, you can see it on your car. So it replaces your number on your car, and I think it's kind of cool that it does that. There's a fill there. Well, I think that concludes the video. That's about it on Split Second. So see you guys later.